Now, in the New Testament, there is a great teaching on you need to make sure that the doctrine is a form of teaching. Doctrine is it would be, the best way I could put it is water coming out of the faucet, and the glass you put it in is the doctrine. It is the mold. It's the thing that molds the water. Your doctrine that you believe is the mold for your life. You are what you believe, whether you like that phrase or not. We are what we believe. And Paul says it this way. He says, if you're not careful, people will live contrary to sound doctrine. And so as he began to list that list of things, sexual immorality, homosexuality, lying, perjuring, murdering, killing, law-breaking, a rebel, he puts all of that in perspective of that's contrary to sound doctrine. Now, I know when, we'll fight tooth and toenail today in Christianity over homosexuality, gay, lesbian, all day long we'll argue, can they, can you, can we, they versus us versus them, and everybody's arguing it. But here's my comment to that. We have to look at, if we're not careful as a generation, we can slowly shift what we believe as a generation to fit our morality and to fit our culture, so that rather than doctrine shaping my culture, culture shapes my doctrine. And anytime culture shapes doctrine, we can wind up with a very skewed belief. Now, here's the smart thing about that. If I can shift culture or shift doctrine in relation to culture, and I can get you to miss it so that you don't even recognize it's happening, before long I can have an entire generation who has done a cultural shift, but they've shifted doctrine, and now doctrine is just not sound anymore. It's not what it should have been. It's still doctrine, it's just different. It's still doctrine and beliefs, but now the beliefs move to fit my culture. So when Paul wrote this is how he wrote it. You need to be careful, he said, because there comes a lifestyle you can live apart from good sound doctrine. So as culture starts moving through life, and now we're in 2013, if we don't take this scripture to heart, if we don't put it in our lives and take it to heart, then what happens is that culture starts defining doctrine, and I begin to twist sound doctrine to fit the morality of my acceptable nature and what I deem as acceptable and unacceptable. And now, rather than it being sound doctrine, it becomes new doctrine. And new fits me better. Because if I have to deal with sound is going to force me to come back to, am I right or wrong? But if I can take sound and manipulate it to make it new, then I don't have to face whether or not I'm right or wrong, because I'll never really be wrong, because what I believe will always make me feel right. So if I can shift what is doctrinal, a right versus wrong standard, and shift that to fit my cultural morality, then I never feel wrong, I always just feel right.